Ekki gott, ástu mín.
Ég veit ekki af hverju, bara mér líður eitthvað
Ertu
skrítið
búin að
bragð.
reyna að pröfa það?
Já, ég prófaði það, skrítið bragð á það.
Já. Taktu nú líka smjörið og settu það inn í ísskáp.
Nei.
Okay. My name is Hrafn. I am an Icelandic anarchist, and you can see it if you walk around my house, that I live in a recycled house made out of recycled materials, and that is my way of expressing my anarchism.
Apart from all this art we've seen here, you make movies as well.
Yeah. I happen to make about 30 movies. The difference is that making movies is like going to a war. You have to put up an army of people who will fight for you to the end, and it consumes lot of time and energy and isolation. Because when I make a movie, I have to clean my mind. I cannot drink coffee or anything that disturbs my thinkings. I have to be like a Spartan. I have to completely give myself into it, and I cannot have family or anything at the same time. So making a movie is a decision, almost like going to a war. And you have this discipline, of course. You are the one who leads this war, and the most dangerous people you have when you're making a movie are people with good ideas, because they are making another movie. They are not making what's in your head. So the one thing is, when you make a movie, you have to concentrate. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you have to go there and never listen to people with good ideas, and never forget what you saw in the beginning. That's the only way to succeed, to get what you were heading for. There are two kinds of film directors, I think. Mainly, there are those who are storytellers, and they go into filmmaking because they have the desire to tell a story or make a document about something. You have this kind of film directors. And then you have those who are working with films like industry. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is just the difference between a sculpture and a furniture. I think today these filmmakers that are really storytellers or are documenting the world, this group is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I haven't seen for many years a real passionate filmmaker in Iceland. Not one that would say, wow, here is a man who is a storyteller, and he gives damn shit to everything else. He has a story in his head and he is trying to tell the story, or he has a message and he is trying to bring the message out. And the problem, the dangerous thing for a filmmaker is always this, not to forget what it is about, or not to forget what story he is telling and why he is telling it. Because the way from the head through the hand down to the paper is sometimes very long, but the way from the head down to the hand and then up to the silver screen is very, very long. And it's very easy on the way to get tired, to jump over, to take shortcuts and things like that. But in the moment you do that, you are lost. In the moment you do that, you have betrayed your darling. There is nothing original in Iceland. Everything is gone. All the wood, everything, all the vegetation is gone. And Iceland is probably the most polluted country in the world if you think about the destruction of the nature here. Because we were so poor and these farmers, they got too many and the sheep too many, so slowly they ate up everything. So you are now in a way in a desert. Iceland is a big desert because of this. But it's coming a little bit back because they brought in a flower called the lupina. And this flower is blue now, very beautiful, is slowly starting to grow all over on the sands and the deserts. And that's a very ecological, interesting thing, that this flower will save Iceland.
Which things have changed in Iceland during the last years, maybe before the crisis, after the crisis?
No, we were thrown into the modern time during the war.
Iceland, guardian of the United Nations North Atlantic Lifeline. 1,800 air miles from Halifax, 825 miles from Scotland, and only 900 from Nazi-held Norway. To this subarctic island during the summer of 1941 came the vanguard of an American expeditionary force. This film depicts Iceland as it looked between November 1941 and early spring 1942.
We were just a small farmer society, and then one day the British come and occupy Iceland. We are thrown into modern time. They built an airport here in Reykjavik, and then later the Americans make a big airport in Keflavik, and we were maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people living in Reykjavik, and 20,000 soldiers here where we are now standing, because this was the biggest campus. They had big guns here to protect the harbor. If the Nazi Germans would come, they would bomb them. So these 20,000 British soldiers, they left during the war when they were planning to invade Germany, and American soldiers came instead. So they changed out the British with Americans.
All right.
And it's very interesting. Then we are thrown into modern time, and we haven't really realized it. For an example, we haven't discovered the elevator, you know? And the elevator that goes up and down. So all houses are built like this. Nobody thinks about an elevator. They don't build like this because they haven't understood that the elevator exists.
Which is the difference between Icelandic people and the rest of Europe?
That we are still farmers in our mind. We are still a little bit anarchists, you know. We are living on a farm. We don't understand how to behave in a group. We are like cats, you know. All Icelanders goes different way. You cannot put cats together and make a flock of cats mass, but you can do it with dogs, you know. So Icelanders, they are like cats. Every Icelander goes his own way, and it's impossible to make them mass, which is very good.
Winter may be approaching, but in Iceland, the political temperature is heating up. After the near collapse of the country's economy, many are growing increasingly concerned about the dark days that lie ahead.
When there were the demonstrations against the banks where the crisis exploded, and in 2008 that everything started, there was no way to pick up money in the cash machine, the big crisis, all Iceland were together in the demonstrations to show to the government.
Here, it was fun, people were only having fun. It was not a serious thing. People like to go there and have fun. I mean, what happened was that we had to devaluate our currency 50%, and then it went on. That has happened before. I made my first films in inflation was when 130%. So this is nothing new. It was funny. Everybody liked it. They were going there and banging and demonstrating, and it was mostly young children and guys who wanted to get attention and things like that. I think it didn't change anything, except we had fun, and I appreciate it very much when people have fun. I think the problem is that we don't have enough fun. Immigrants are good, and I like immigration, so long as the immigrants accept to acclimate. Accept. I mean, if you invite somebody to your house, I tell you if you have to take off your shoes or not, and you will respect it. So I think the only thing with immigrants is that they have to respect the culture they are coming in. If I am going to Havana to study Spanish, like I did, I behave like a Havana, like a Cubano. In Rome, you do like Romans. And if I go to Vietnam and work there for half a year, I behave like the Vietnamese. I eat cats and snakes, dogs and whatever. The problem is the religion, always. The worst thing that happened to mankind was religion. I have no religion, understand? I don't believe in an angry God. I don't believe in the punishment of anything. I just believe in this life we are living now. So the problems we have are all these religions that are usually made by old men that want to control the society. And they are putting these crazy ideas about religion to people. Remember what John Lennon said, imagine there was no religion. Imagine brotherhood of man. But it comes when there is no heaven above, when there is no hell above. That's what John Lennon was saying. And I think you should always think about this lyric of John Lennon, because there you have the key to immigration. There you have the key to everything. He, in very, very beautiful poem, explained how the world can be as one. It can be as one if there is no heaven above, if there is no hell. So, long live John Lennon. Okay.
All right, I think that's basically everything. That's basically everything.
Exactly, was having problems with the content because